Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to go over lesson 90. So just keep in mind that lesson 90 does contain 3 assignments. That's 90-64, 90-65, and 90-66. And so let's take a look at that in our e-text so we know what to expect. So I do have lesson 90 up. Make sure that you do start on the bottom of page 365. Go over the formatting in the Word manual, lesson 90. For 90-64, you'll be creating a cover page. And it tells us to use the following information when we complete the cover page. When we do search for the cover page, we want to find one of the cover page templates that has a company name, report title, author, and name. And then if there's anything extra, we're just going to delete that. It also tells us that we're going to replace whatever company name by default with the word CanCom Inc. The title is Intercultural Seminars. We're not going to have a subtitle. Heath R. Watkins is the author. We're going to use the current year. And if there is a company address, we're going to leave that blank. So that was it for 90-64. Let's open it up from GDP. One thing that you'll also notice is that on the left here, it says that this job is not scored automatically by GDP. So the scoring results window will not appear when you use the upload and save. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So I'm going to start by clicking on Start from Scratch. I'll enable editing. And here is our blank page that we'll be using as a cover page. And so lesson 90 in your Word manual goes through the steps of inserting a cover page. We'll start with this blank document that opened up when we started our file from GDP. Up on your Insert tab, we're going to go ahead and look for our Pages group. That's near the top left. You're then going to select Cover Page. And then what I'm going to do is to scroll through, and I'm actually going to select, oops, and it disappeared on me. I'm going to select this Ion Dark. I'm specifically selecting this Ion Dark because I know that it contains all of the placeholders that I need. So on the top right, we have year. I'm going to type in the current year. The document title is Intercultural Seminars. We don't need the document subtitle, so I'm just going to click on that. And then I'll press my delete key on my keyboard. The author name is Heath R. Watkins. The company name is CanCom Inc. And then I'm going to delete the company address block. Okay, and so again, we should just have one of the cover pages that has all of these elements: the year, the document title, the author, and the company name. If you have more than those, do exactly what I had did and just deleted those extra placeholders. Once you do that, you can save this, and then we'll just go ahead and upload it into our GDP. Okay, so go ahead and open that. I'll submit work. You can also view your submitted document in the portfolio area of My GDP. So if you click on My GDP near the top right, Here's the 90-64. You can click View in Word, and that's just going to open up your cover page. So again, don't worry if it doesn't give you a score. I'll be going over this manually after you submit all of your documents. So that was just 90-64. I'll go ahead and open up the next assignment in lesson 90, which is 90-65. Here's going to be the table of contents. I'll go ahead and start from scratch. Make sure to read this instructions on the left here. It does talk about formatting your table of contents. Also, make sure to read page 366, and then it also says at the end of step 5, center the title. So let's click on Start from Scratch. Here is our blank document for 90-65, and let's take a look at our e-text. So it says to create a table of contents for our report as a separate document. We're going to use this illustration here, this table of contents, to follow just as an example. The table of contents that you see here is incomplete. You're going to have to fill out the rest of these table of contents according to your actual report. And it does tell you to refer to 89-63 to compose and complete all of the entries for your table of contents. And so I'll give you a preview of what your table of contents should look like. Keep in mind that you should have reviewed the Word manual lesson as it had instructed how to create the table of contents along with the dot leaders. Okay, so I'm not going to show you that here. Again, you should have followed those instructions already and practiced it when completing that Word manual exercise. Notice, however, that I started by pressing Enter 5 times from the top. I then typed in the word contents in all caps. I centered it and then applied the title style. This is what your table of contents should look like in completed form. So it starts with the problem, then intercultural seminars, then benefits of attending the seminars, instructional approach. We also have these subheadings below seminar content. We also have the tentative seminar schedule, and then we have the bibliography. And so here we can see that all the side headings that we had in our original report for 89-63, all of those are capitalized. They're still in 12-point font. They're not bolded. They're just capitalized. The paragraph headings that we had are indented just by 1/2 inch. And dot leaders were created for the table of contents. Now let's take a look at 90-66. 90-66 is going to be the bibliography, and it's going to be specific to report 89-63. And so let's open up our GDP window. And so according to our instructions, it says to type the bibliography for our report shown on page 367 as a separate document using standard format. We're also going to make sure that the title is in Calibri 14-point bold. Afterwards, we're going to apply the title style, just like how we did with the contents section in our table of contents. We're going to type our bibliography in standard format. And then when we're done, we're going to apply the title style to bibliography. So it does just tell us to finalize the report project. This is separate instructions. You're not going to type this. Just do make sure that you proofread everything before you submit it. And so let's take a look what your final bibliography is going to look like. Let's zoom back in. So before I format my actual authors and titles here, this is what it's going to look like. If we take a look at our reference manual, R-9B, notice that it does have a hanging indent. And this hanging indent means that the consecutive lines, so never the first line such as Directory of Internet Business Services, your first line is always left aligned, but any consequent lines or subsequent lines are indented 1/2 inch. So what we're going to do is to select this. We're then going to go up to your paragraph, open up your paragraph settings. For special, I'm going to select hanging. By default, it's going to be 0.5 inches, and then you'll click OK. And here we can see that it had indented all of those lines. Also keep in mind of the things that you need to italicize. And so I'm going to go back to our lesson 90. Be very careful when you italicize. So here you're going to italicize the words, the dynamics of intercultural seminars, including the comma after it. Here make sure you only italicize business ethics and workplace compliance, as well as that comma following it. Same thing for communication across cultures. That's going to be italicized along with the quotation marks. And here, comparing cultural differences and that comma following it is also going to be italicized. So don't accidentally italicize the comma, in front of those titles or anything after the titles. So once you've double-checked your formatting of everything, you can save this and let's submit this into our GDP site. Okay, and so hopefully, as long as you formatted everything, you didn't have any typos. Again, be very careful about the commas and the text that you italicize before you submit it. And so that was it for lesson 90.